What's the good word, y'all? DKB here. So, Rex Ryan, one of the most loved coaches in the franchise of the Jets due to his success in getting us to the playoffs and some of the wins that he's had in the playoffs. He always finds a way to stay relevant, especially when it comes to the New York Jets. There's been so many amazing sound bites from him, speeches, post game victories, setups for matches that we have against, Peyton Manning led teams, Tom Brady, of course, etc. But he's even bleeding into this Robert Saleh era, which looks like is finally turning the corner into having the Jets be a successful team again, with one of our best starts since the last time we had an opportunity to get into the playoffs in 2015. Now, when we think back to last year and Robert Saleh's first year at the helm, Rex Ryan had a huge quotable that kind of went crazy for a little while in regards to Robert Saleh and not being a huge fan of his. So he happened to have mentioned this guy is supposed to be a defensive guru. I take it personal. Everything I heard was this guy is a lot like myself, but without the bad part. Some of the bad part you need because the team doesn't want to play with any damn heart. That's the thing that's disappointing me. Don't ever compare me to this guy. And so, he went in on him a little bit. It wasn't anything over the top or, extremely crazy or belligerent, etc. But still, you get the message. And there were people that kind of jumped on the bandwagon with that a little bit because we ended up having one of the worst New York Jets defenses in history. And when you take a look at bringing on a guy like Robert Saleh, yes, we've been wanting a CEO style head coach for a while that won't just live in the defensive meeting rooms, but also get out there and make sure we can have a formidable offense, a working special teams, etc. We need all three phases to be excellent, essentially. And it seems like we have that in Robert Saleh now, but at the time there were huge question marks where if you had to at least have a bread and butter to kind of save you heading into your second season, why weren't you able to save this defense? And a lot of guys question, well, maybe he wasn't that great of a defensive coordinator, or maybe that's just the role that suits him best, and maybe he's not cut out to be a head coach like many of the defensive gurus that we picked up over the years. Now, recently, Rex Ryan has kind of been singing Robert Saleh's praises, and of course, it's come with the victories. As you know, the fan base has also gotten behind him, and critics and the rest of the NFL at large has suddenly kind of jumped on, thinking that the Jets may not be the same old Jets anymore. So Rex Ryan had, and Robert Saleh talked about this a little bit as well when they spoke, and this happened briefly after the quote that I gave to you guys. They met up together. I guess they were able to hash some things out, exchange some information and ideals. And Robert Saleh actually credited him for potentially the team that we're currently looking at. And the advice that it was said that Rex Ryan gave to him was that we need to bring in program guys that have been through your successful scheme and running things. And of course, that's the reason why that person would have got a head coach opportunity. They need to be champions of the message, how you want the defense to play, offense to play, whatever it is that you're coming in from your position or offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, coaching position. They need to be champions of the message. In our case, all gas, no brakes. Secondly, they need to, of course, understand the scheme and understand the style of play. Hard, fast, aggressive, instinctual, but smart. We want to do all the things, and it's encapsulated in this motto that is all gas, no brakes. And there are some, pretty decent parallels in terms of that being done. So when we seen Rex Ryan come into the picture, and I always mix the years up, but I want to say it was 2009 was his first year. We seen him bring over Bart Scott. We seen him bring over Jim Leonard and Marcus Douglas over from the Ravens, and these were the guys that were going to set, take the torch and run with it in terms of setting up this New York defense the way that they expect to operate as a 3-4 defense. Current day, we take a look at Saleh. He does essentially the same thing, and this is direct correlation into that conversation with Rex Ryan. He brings over Quan Alexander, Lakin Tomlinson, DJ Reed, Solomon Thomas, Marcel Harris. The difference is that this wasn't done in year one, and maybe this could have made a huge difference for Robert Saleh and how his defense performed. But he chose to stick it out with the guys that were currently on the roster, and whoever got picked up via the draft, and make it work with fresh guys that didn't have a lot of outside input into it. Kind of that whole blank slate, being better than somebody that already has experience kind of situation that we hear in the workforce. So it was interesting to me that Robert Saleh took it to heart, and heading into his second year, discussed it with Joe Douglas, and they both determined that it is a feasible and understandable model after going full in with the rookies, to be able to kind of aid and boost that development, not just with guys that are strictly the program guys, as Rex Ryan would have called it, or the champions of the message, but guys that have excelled, and knowing that they're coming from a winning program, they're bringing in this winning pedigree, this championship kind of attitude and mentality, and you would expect that that rubs off on the guys that are currently on the roster and those that you're continuing to bring in through free agency, through the draft, through trades. And we are seeing the fruits of that labor. I mean, currently the Jets are 4-2, is one of our best starts in forever. It's already more than halfway through the total that was originally suggested after we picked up our draft picks, I believe, which I think they had us at 6.5 wins with the over under. Aside from that, I think we were looking at 3.5 prior to free agency in the draft for us. So it's definitely been a steep turnaround. We're already seeing that effect in the locker room. The chemistry is absolutely amazing. I even seen something that said that originally Whitehead wasn't on the plans for the radar. It was a quick plan B option. Keep in mind, we're taking a look at the Saints player, and his name is escaping me, Marcus Williams. We're making a strong run for Marcus Williams. Our pedigree just didn't allow us to pull it out, even though the money was similar-ish. And then we defaulted to Whitehead, and apparently it was due to technically another solid guy in Richard Sherman reaching out and vouching for not only the mentality but the style of play and the characteristics that he would have brought to the team. And we're seeing everything gel and come together now, and things are looking on the up and up. We're already talking about kind of where we could fit in with playoff positioning, and tightening up a few things. And to be honest, we look like we could be a tough out for a lot of teams. There's even the potential, which isn't out of the realm of normalcy for us, where we can technically end up going into the bye week on a 6-win 6-win streak. Absolutely crazy. It's something that I think wouldn't have happened necessarily in our wildest dreams, and there might even be a school of thought that says we hit those double digits, and that was on the far end of my season predictions in the beginning. I want to say I had us at 10 or 11 after going through the exercise a couple of times and trying to make it make sense, and now it looks like that could be a strong reality. So just kind of interesting to see Robert Saleh is open to taking advice from any and all parties, when and where it makes sense, and Joe Douglas jumping on board and being able to quickly put together the pieces in the plan with Robert Saleh lets us know that our front office and coaching staff are in great hands, even if we do have more questions on the coaching staff with them being younger and still having to figure things out than in the front office. But I'm loving the plan. We'll see how things continue to evolve for us, but we should all be very excited. Playoffs in reach, and it looks like destiny is finally in our hands for once. So all I can say is JETS, Jets. Let's get it, and let me know what your guys' thoughts are and kind of how we built things out so far, and how far you think we can take it. I'll catch you guys again. Peace.